Well, here we are, we're in Manchester. We're in a place called the Love Factory. Now, it's all about the main event here today. It's Lawrence Okolie in against David Light. Not many people give the New Zealander much of a chance, but we're going to find out what they both think, the two main men, and we're going to speak to plenty of people on the undercard. At the minute, though, we're just waiting for Anthony $1 Million Crolla because he's a bit late. I'll crack on in the meantime. Fraser, another big test. It's another Manchester fight. Again, it's your spiritual home now, isn't it, here? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm adopted mag now.
Now, change of opponent, no one really wants that. You've got to deal with that. You've done your homework, you've done your research, but are you at this stage where you don't care? You're just dying to get in there and deal with Dinu?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's like you can control the controllables. I'm here to do a job, and I've got to do that like a professional, and that's what I do.
He's been with some very good company, as you well know. Do you think he'll start slinging at you? You'll have a different test on Saturday?
Yeah, of course. They come to fight me. They come to beat me because it opens doors for him. Olympic medalist. It comes with a certain level of expectation, and it comes with a certain level of fame or being out there, so people try to take me out, and yeah, good luck to them.
I think domestically is what everyone's quite excited to see you mixed with. You mentioned in the press conference about Fabio Wardley, and
they mentioned it. They mentioned it.
Well, you talk so well.
I just confirm. Yeah, of course. You know, he's the champ. He knows with being the champ comes a big target on you.
Yeah. Same
as me being an Olympic medalist, there's a target on me. Is what it is.
Some great talent though, isn't there, in the division, let's face it. Not just Fabio, I mean, domestically, the UK now, you could reel off a string of names that everyone would want to see you in with.
Fighter, myself, Solomon, Fabio, Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen's still knocking about, Cash Ali, there's Jamie TKV, there's people everywhere.
Yeah, and you'd get in with anyone now, would you?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. That's the plan before the end of the year anyway, is a title?
Yeah, title, definitely. You know what, when people say the plan, who you want to fight and who you're going to fight are two different things, because remember, the domestic level is something which you're in now, but you know when you map out where you want to be eventually, you've got to do it in the right way, in the right path. So all them fighters, I'd mix up with any of them, 1,000,000%. But like I say, it's got to make sense. And people say, oh, you're saying one thing and doing another. No. I've seen too many people come in this game and leave with fuck all to end up just fighting anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just a quick one. What do we expect from you then on Saturday night? I mean, I know you're going to get your arm raised. That's what you're going to tell me. But how are you going to do it?
I'll get in there, get behind my jab, throw a few feints, break him down slowly, and then when I see the opportunity, I'll step up a gear and take him out.
And what about the main event? Because Lawrence may be joining the big boys very soon, of course. He's a huge cruiser, isn't he? It's often been said with the dimensions he's going to be in the heavyweight division. So you never know how these things work out. You might be looking at him in the opposite corner somewhere down the line. But
he's my friend, but if he knows what's good for him, he'll stay a fucking cruiser.
How does he do it?
He can punch his banger. He's a heavyweight. He's definitely a heavyweight. So we'll see. In due time. Lawrence will keep him on the end of that. Boom. He'll walk onto the right hand. He'll wobble. If he don't go, he's not out cold, he'll finish him off.
And you've been up there, you've had a little word now, you put it on Levi a little bit verbally then. What was being said?
Mate, I didn't really say much other than let's fight now. He's done a lot of talking on his social media. Apparently he's been going around in interviews saying he's going to stand and stop me and do this and that. When he's up there, his eyes were twitching all over the place. He didn't want to make eye contact. Let's fight. I asked him there and then, let's go now. And he put his head down and said, we'll do this Saturday night. You know, don't talk about fighting, let's just do it. I'm here to fight, not to talk. I don't want to talk, I want to punch his face in and do damage to him, and that's what I'm going to do on Saturday.
You can be lively in these situations, but you do tend to back it up, in fairness to you as well.
Saturday night's a simple, mate. I'm getting knocked out or he's getting knocked out. I'm coming in there to take his head off. And no matter how many risks I've got to take, and it means I'm getting hit in the way of doing that, so be it. Saturday night, someone's getting skilled, mate.
Yeah, he's an unbeaten lad. I mean, you've only the one blip on your record anyway. He is quite skilled. I said that to you before, but nothing phases you in this situation, does it?
I don't know if he's skilled, I don't know, mate. He's fought, from what I've been told, he's only fought Journeyman, mate. I've honestly not watched him. I've seen a minute and a half of one of his fights, and I thought he was shit, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, he's fought guys that haven't done anything, mate, so we don't know. He's not fought since July, so he may have improved massively in the gym. Who knows? On Saturday night, if he isn't as good as what he thinks he is, he's getting his head punched in, and he's going to get stopped badly.
Bit of North Manchester in the arena as well. It's a special place for the Gomez family, isn't it? Let's face it. You're going to get asked all the time about senior as well.
Listen, it's a very, very special place. This is probably the only place where I probably will be nervous, if I'm being honest with you. When we boxed at Tottenham Stadium, it was minor. This is probably come Saturday night when I stand on that ramp. I ain't going to lie, the bottle probably may go. that could be the only thing that's going to stop me performing to an absolute storming level on Saturday night, because I don't know how I'm going to feel. When I was a kid growing up, mate, this is what I wanted to do. Fight at Manchester Arena live on Sky Sports, and finally it's happening.
Well, Levi, what an opportunity this is. We've seen you on some of the small shows and the small hall shows. I know you always got a great Grimsby following as well, but this is going to be a bit different, isn't it? How excited are you?
Yeah, very excited. Camp's gone perfect, sparring well, the weight's come off nicely in the short space that we've had. But we're a true professional. I'm always in the gym. And as soon as I signed that contract, all 5 years ago, I put 100% into boxing. Not the last couple of months, not the last 10. This is my life, boxing. I've come from nothing. I'll get something, and it will start Saturday night.
It's a title on the big stage against a name that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Again, he's had it not easy. He's come through the small hall circuit as well, fought for central areas, done all that. He's done it the right way, if you like, but plenty to say as well. It builds it nicely, but it is a very intriguing fight. How do you read it?
It is what it is. He's vocal up there, but when that bell goes on Saturday night, he can't. Them words are going to do nothing for him, and I can assure you that. I respect him as an opponent, as a person. I'll leave that. No French on the camera, but yeah. As a fighter, I respect him like I do any other opponent, whether it's a journeyman or whether it's a contender or a champion. But yeah, Saturday night we've got three, A, B, C. Any game plan we want to pick Saturday night will beat him.
First things first, Liam. This should be a two-handed interview, but your mate Crolla's not here. So how amazed are you by that?
I'm not surprised at all, mate. He's late for everything. He's the only man they are saying he will be late for his own funeral somehow.
Yeah, well, he'll be here eventually. But anyway, in the meantime, you're here because you've got a fighter on the show. You manage Frankie, don't you? So tell us a little bit about him. He spoke very well in the press conference.
Yeah, we started to speak better. So I'm trying to get him to. That'll come with fights. Not one-word answers. He's a young kid. He's a young pro as well. So, obviously getting on these big shows now, he's learning. He's getting better with his interviews. He's getting better with his fights also, and I'm excited to see him now do a 6-rounder. 4 rounds, a little bit sprint finishes for him, so I'm excited now he's got his first 6-rounder.
Now, Liam Smith, the manager, we know that your brother Paul obviously is involved in that side of the game as well. Is this something that you're going to do more and more when you hang the gloves up? Maybe
when I can put a little bit more time and effort into it. This is more my relationship with Frankie. I've known him his whole life, and I feel I can guide him in the right path. So this is more, not really a favour, it's more about my relationship with Frankie. I'd rather guide him than let someone else guide him at the moment. When I'm done with boxing, will I sign more fighters? Maybe, because I want to be around boxing. It's all I know, it's all I love. So I want to be around it for a long time coming. So I might stick with managing fighters. Yeah.
I know there's a bit of life in you yet. Now, last time we saw it was only a couple of weeks ago. We thought it's a done deal. The rematch has been activated. It's Eubank Jr. again. Now we're not quite sure. Eddie Hearn seems to have thrown one in there that I can do Ben next with Eubank Jr. And Calla Sowland, we spoke to him yesterday, wasn't giving anything away. So what do you know?
The same, yeah. He activated his rematch clause, but then it's still not over the line. I'm still not happy my end either. So it's still up in the air a little bit. I'll be brutally honest with you. I'm not sitting skating around it no more. We yet to see what happens, but I'm pretty sure it'll be confirmed in the next few days whether me and Chris will fight again or we won't.
Now, after that performance, so you have got options. So what's the next best scenario for you, or even better maybe? I don't know.
That's what we're gonna sit down and do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down and discuss. Okay, if Chris isn't next, what am I doing? Because I'm not sitting depending on whether Chris is next and then being left in the late. So, I'm gonna sit down with my people who are close to me and let them deal with boxing and decide what's next for me. Because boxing have got an option on me by what I know, and if it's not Chris, then we'll see what's next.
Right. Finally, just a couple of quick fire ones. In terms of this show, what does Frankie do then on Saturday night? What do you want to see from him?
A little bit more from him now with 6 rounders. Not forced a little bit much. Fully. I can't keep putting pressure on to stop kids, but the 6 rounds and now he's got more time to do so. He's learned through every fight, so I want to see a little bit more from this time, and hopefully he can get a stoppage over 6 rounds.
And just your opinion on the English title fight, Gomez Jr. against Levi Giles, two good lads. There'd be a little bit of needle there as well. How do you see that?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to pretend to know. I haven't seen much of Giles, to be brutally honest, and no disrespect to him, but I've known Gomez a long time. I've trained in Joe's gym when he was a young kid. I think he's had a good win over Brian Phillips, so I'm looking forward to watching that. Just as a boxing fan, I'll be there at the shop watching, so I'm looking forward to those fights.
And because Crolla's not here, I was going to ask Crolla obviously about what happens in the main event. You'll have to stand in for him now. What happens in the main event?
Again, I can't sit and lie. I think it's a 2-round job for Okolie. I just think Light's made for him, style-wise, upright, tall. It's not like going to be short and awkward. I think he's tall enough to be there for Okolie to nail, and I think Okolie punches like a mule, like a cruiserweight. So I think it's an alien night for Okolie.
Big Mo, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You're in the UK an awful lot these days, obviously. Manchester is familiar to you as well, but can you help us with one thing? Because your friend and mine, Anthony $1 Million Crolla, is missing. Can you help us find him?
He's a little late.
Can you announce, has anybody seen it? Can you help us out here?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen of Manchester, I need your help. I'm looking for him. The sportsmen are looking for him. Calling Anthony $1 Million Crolla. You are needed here at the Love Factory here in Manchester as we head towards this weekend's contest at the AO Arena. Once again, calling Anthony $1 Million Crolla here in Manchester. How was that?
Well, I've been busy, but thankfully someone's turned up now, Anthony $1 Million Crolla, because he's a former world champion. He can just turn up whenever he wants. So, firstly as well, talk us through the outfit.
It's, I always say it, you've got to get a guy who can do both. Before us belting that punch machine, got the record score, and
dressed as a
now
cigar.
I'm dressed as a cigar, lumberjack, you name it.
Yeah.
But I can wear many what's the word? Wear many suits. I don't know, but listen, I'm a man who can do both. That's all I'll say.
Outfit, I'll give you
Thanks,
100%.
means a lot.
So anyway, now we are here, Anthony. There's still some work to do. I mean, I've done most of it anyway, but we will crack on now, and because we've still got the main eventers we need to talk to. We need to talk to this fight, and it is a big fight here in Manchester. Let's go. We're here with the legendary trainer, of course, Sugar Hill. Now, we saw you yesterday at a community event. You were with Lawrence, obviously, putting him through his paces, but a kind of busy Manchester week for you. Having fun here?
I'm always having fun.
That's the way. That's the way.
Especially up north. I'm a North man.
Well, yeah, you're saying the right things to us too there anyway. That's the way it is.
Sugar, obviously, big night for Lawrence, and we know the Cronks now. And I remember speaking to you a few years back during COVID, and you say you always train for the KO. That's your way. With Lawrence, obviously you're not giving too much away. Do we expect to see a more aggressive Lawrence Okolie on Saturday night?
I think we're going to see a more well-rounded Lawrence Okolie.
Okay.
That's just opening up the door for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, we worked on a lot of things. Mainly is footwork.
Yeah.
I love footwork.
Yeah.
Footwork makes knockouts.
Of course.
And footwork creates power.
Yeah.
What do you make of the opponent? Because it's interesting that he's a long-time friend of Joe Parker, who you'll know very well, who's up in Morecambe when you're there.
I never knew all this stuff.
Yeah. I think you know all of this.
Is that why when I got to Morecambe, Joe
stay quiet.
He ran out with Joseph Parker.
Oh, okay.
It was like less than 2 minutes. Joseph Parker was on his way out of town, going over to England. He just didn't want to be a part of it. I didn't know. I thought Joe was just afraid of me.
Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe it's a bit of both.
I'm not feeling so tough anymore. Shit.
He does have that insight with Joe Parker. I'm not saying that he's going to read too much into that with Lawrence, but what do you make of him anyway? We know about his background, silver medalist, Commonwealth Games, been around a bit. He shocked over in the States, didn't he? Did well last time out. So what do you think?
I think he's a very good opponent. I think he's the right opponent for Lawrence at this time. Obviously for many reasons, and one of them being he's mandatory, and he's earned his way, he's fought his way. He beat Brandon. He beat him, came to the U.S. and beat him. And he so deserves this opportunity. And I like him as a fighter. I've seen him fight. I've watched him fight. And he's a very good fundamental fighter. You know, he can do a lot of different things. It's not just one thing that he does. So he's able to adapt and to change. And for having that great amateur background, And you know, fighting in these massive tournaments where you fight a different fighter each day, and you have to change your style up just to adjust to make that win, just to advance. And he's proved that, you know, by his amateur career, and then now he's been proving it still to this day as a professional. So he's very consistent in what he's been doing, and I like it because I know he's coming to fight. And I know it's going to make a very interesting fight. And it's going to test Lawrence. He's a good opponent, you know, a very good opponent for Lawrence. And the good opponents, I always feel like bring out the best fight in the fighter.
Talking about the other big man, Ben Whitaker. He's back, and I remember a bit back you were saying you just wanted to spend some time with Ben. And we said last time he's back out in May in Birmingham. How excited are you to have him back?
I'll be even more excited once I get past Saturday, so I can really focus on it. But
one job at a time.
Great news to hear that, that he's clear with all his medicals. He was actually in camp with Lawrence as well. Yeah. We were all the way together, a big crew of us.
Is that talented? Is that talented, Sugar? Is he as talented as he looks?
I would definitely say yes. I mean, we see him, and we've seen him as an amateur moving around and winning the silver medal, winning the silver medal in the Olympics, and being such a fanfare fighter. Yeah. And you know, now he's learning how to use that and use what I'm showing him. Good. I'm really happy just showing him how to be a better version of himself, as I keep saying. He's not trying to change him. But I didn't know his favorite fighter was Thomas Hearns. I didn't know Lawrence Okolie's
that helps. Hearns. I can see that.
Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm being chosen for that matter, but I definitely do see talent in Ben. I see him being a lot stronger, doing a lot more things, having more versatility than what he already has. And we already know
that's
he
a
gets
lot.
Crazy with it.
Yes. No, thank you.
Just a final one, Sugar, as you are an adopted Mancunian, basically now. You are a man of the North, as you told us.
Say that again so I know how to use that word.
Mancunian, Manchester, a man from Manchester, a Mancunian.
Mancunian.
Union, yeah.
Mancunian.
Yeah, that's right. So you like Manchester, that means you're an adopted Mancunian.
An adopted Mancunian.
This Mancunian.
Excuse me.
Yep.
I'm a Mancunian.
This Mancunian, look at his outfit. How do you rate this outfit?
That outfit is very Mancunian.
Yep,
very Crolla, that's what it is.
If he happens to get out in the woods somewhere, he obviously can blend in.
I can do it all.
Take care of himself and survive maybe about 4 fortnights.
Sugar, thank you very much for your time.
You.
Thank you.
Nice one. Always a pleasure, man.
Well, David, welcome to Manchester. I know that you've got lots of experience as an amateur, the silver medal of the Commonwealth Games. You've been around big fight nights. You've done the business in the States, as we know. Does this feel like your stage now, Lawrence Okolie, the world title fight, a big day, big night for New Zealand?
Yeah, I don't know if it feels like my stage. I definitely feel like the outsider coming in, but that's how I like to feel, so I feel like it's going to be my night.
As you say, the outsider, but do you use those kind of situations to your advantage, as we have seen?
Yeah, absolutely. You come in and there's basically no pressure. There's pressure on the home side, especially when they all think he's going to win.
Now you look at Lawrence, though, and everyone will say, the dimensions of him. He expects to be a heavyweight. Again, you're on the smaller side compared to someone like him. How do you negate those advantages?
Well, people keep asking me that, but I think there's a lot of questions that he needs to ask himself, or people need to ask him. He's been out of the ring for a year. He says he's going to be moving up to heavyweight. How hard is the cut down for him? How are his habits now? How's new trainer for only like 6-7 weeks or something? So there's a lot of questions to be asked. I'm here to ask them.
And sure, you'll know some of the secrets from the camp anyway through your friendship with Joe Parker, probably anyway, because obviously the Sugar Hill connection and all the rest of it. Is that the case?
Well, Joe lives here, so it's been a bit hard. I've done all my camp in New Zealand, but yeah, no, Joe's still a good brother. We still get on. He rang me the other day and he's wishing me all the best. So I'm happy to be mates with Joe.
Well, what can we expect on the night? And then we'll let you go. What can we expect from you on the night?
I think you can expect an awesome fight. I think we're both here to win. We've both got a lot of pride, and we're not going to let it go easy.
It's going to be a big victory for New Zealand, and you see that would be a huge thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I'm here, man. I'm not here for any other reason.
Well, you look very relaxed, very smiley. Well done, all the best to you.
Thanks, mate.
Well, it's the main man, Lawrence Okolie, headlining at the Manchester Arena. You've done the formalities now. There's only the weigh-in, and that's it. But you've had a good look at David. What do you think? I mean, you know all about him now. But what do you think when you look into his eyes?
Slightly bigger than I thought he was actually going to be. obviously they're speaking with a lot of confidence. They're coming here with nothing to lose, as they say, and everything to gain. So they're going to be able to put on the line. It's a really low pressure situation to be in when everyone expects you to get knocked out. So they're just hiding in that little corner, and we'll see if they come out on a fight night.
Lawrence, it's been well documented the time you've had away from the ring. You've had a lot of changes in camp. How excited are you just to get back in there and put all this practice into competition on Saturday night?
Yeah, that's like I said, the only thing I feel pressure of is how well I can perform and how well I can execute what I've been doing in training on the night.
That's the pressure you put on yourself because you want the performance.
Everything else doesn't matter. I don't care if everyone says I should knock this guy out in 30 seconds and it takes me 12 rounds. I'm ready to put on the performance that I've been doing in the gym, the setups that we've been working on, the tactics, so that when I watch the fight back afterwards I can say, see what
that worked, I took that from when we was doing that with Sugar and Bauer and so on. Got you.
You're in an interesting situation though, aren't you, with the cruiserweights? We know that you've got the rivalry with Reactball, we saw a bit of that. But in terms of internationally, domestically, you know, there's a lot going on for you. And yet we're still talking about you being a future heavyweight. So just kind of clear all that up for us, where you think you are at the minute.
Depends on Saturday. If I knock this guy out in sensational fashion, and I can get a unification off the back of that, that's what I'm at. But if it turns into what it felt like it was before, where none of the champions really wanted to fight, some people want to make scenes in cinemas but don't really want to fight, then it's an opportunity for me to just say, forget you lot, good luck, and go out to heavyweight. And as a WBO cruiserweight champion, as long as I'm able to win on Saturday, you get put instantly in like mandatory position for the WBO, or maybe I have to have one more fight. So I could just be literally in heavyweight title fights within a year if I so chose, and wins provided.
Lawrence, we're not looking past Saturday, but talk about you being heavyweight. We stood next to you now. We know you're big enough to go up to that weight, and we imagine you come down from a decent sized heavyweight. How long do you see yourself having to build into the heavyweight division? Bang could go.
For me, I'm not really interested in building up too much muscle, because I'm never going to compete with heavyweights blow for blow and
that takes away what's so good for you.
Agreed. As a cruiserweight, I will get in any cruiserweight and show them I'm physically stronger than them. But as soon as I get in the heavyweights, and I spar heavyweights every camp, like I love being in the heavyweights because it makes me have to work on stuff, i.e. boxing, defense, because when I'm in a cruiserweight, I can literally wake up in the morning, have some cornflakes or whatever, roll into the gym, do a little warm-up, and I know I'm going to be able to dominate that person. But with heavyweights, it's like, if you're not careful, the hooks are coming, the body shots hurt more than you used to. The
shots on the arms are a little bit more.
I'm in danger here. So
that fear factor.
And how's he going to feel this boxer link up now, obviously, in Manchester? Name top of the bill, all the rest of it?
I can only find out on after the win, because I like to see what it's like in the back, how the staff is, how everything rolls in the back. From here, it looks fantastic, to be fair. It's rolling seamlessly. I don't feel like there's a culture shock between this promoter and any promoter in the world. It's top tier, so I look forward to the weekend.
Lawrence, finally from me, the perfect 2023 for Lawrence Okolie. Defend on Saturday night, unification later in the year, and then later in the year we see you at heavyweight.
So the perfect would be 2 champions. So there's 4 champions in my weight. 2 of them box each other, and have I do the same. End of the year, final, undisputed. End of the year, win that, then heavyweight. That would be perfect. But you have to take life as it comes.
Of course.
And you'd be easier to make fights at heavyweight yourself?
I think so. I think the reality is, heavyweights will look at me and say, "Slow cruiserweight. Okay, he was a puncher at cruiserweight. Get him with the big boys." So and pride, like I said, when it comes to sparring them, I can feel the difference. Even when I land clean shots and I can see a leg go or whatever, he's smaller than me. I can't let where other guys. Okay, let me take a moment. So I look forward to it, because you see it in my fights. I think you'll see in this fight as well.
It's Deontay Wilder, doesn't it?
Agreed.
Similar dimensions to
Agreed.
All the best anyway.
Thank you so much.
Lawrence,
cheers.
So there we have it. We've pretty much wrapped it all up here in Manchester. It is the big one in Manchester on Saturday night at the Arena. Your old home, the Arena.
Yes, I'd like to call it that.
Talking about the Arena,
of course I do. You know me, I don't like speaking about myself much,
not
but
really.
it's
listen, we've done well to get you on the camera today, because normally, You won't get near a camera, no pictures, no
Yeah,
selfies.
no, listen, it's always good to go back at the arena, and I think Lawrence Okolie on Saturday night, I believe he makes a statement. To a statement in the sense where it might scare off the other cruiserweight champions because none of them have been too keen to fight him recently. But there could be a huge domestic showdown with Richard Riakpo, but hey, let's not look past Mr. Light from New Zealand. He's come over with ambitions, and but I expect a dominant performance from Lawrence Okolie.
And as he said as well, such great options for him. Cruiserweight.
It's not a bad position to be in.
No,
Comes through Saturday night in explosive fashion. It's not a bad position at all.
Sugar Hill, like you, is a bit camera shy, Sugar Hill, but he speaks very well, doesn't he? He likes
Great guy. Yeah, no, he does. And I think he's enjoying his time here in Manchester.
He is indeed. So with that, where we are, we're going to wrap things up from Manchester. All the action on Saturday night.